Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Found the Uzumaki Curse. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Found the Shinigami Weapons over on Anime King. And stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over Anime King 2. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I did have 3 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your helping support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, we had a little view of Naruto's life, as he lived in the red light district, but he was well known. Almost every single person there knew him because of his reputation. Knowing that he could not go leaving the academy because he did not possess what it takes, Naruto decided to work on training his body to an intense degree, and not to mention seeing the fighting styles from various shinobis all around Konoha. As Naruto became a muscle for most of the drug members within Konoha, who were located in the red light district, not to mention, he also helped the girls in the brothel, as some of the guys there didn't want to pay and just wanted to use them well. Being one of their guards, Naruto showed them the meaning of pain, and let's just say those guys never came back there. And the new customers knew why they shouldn't try to screw over the place. Naruto has been out to the village several times to be protection for several non-ninja members because of some drug dealings. And being someone that can use chakra and not to mention overall physical strength, the civilians didn't stand a chance against him. So in doing so, Naruto has accumulated a quite large sum of money, given that he owned the entire apartment complex. While he did not officially buy it, but he did own it, everything inside. He had a home gym, a dojo, everything to his needs, as he had some rather expensive furniture, a lot of things, 2 fridge. The place was, well, immaculate, as no one will dare try to harm or try to rob his home. They knew the threat of Naruto Uzumaki, but once he exited the red light district, as he greeted many people, he went into the upper part of Konoha. People started to snarl when they saw him, but he couldn't care less, as Naruto made his way. As he had become a genin, it was finally time that he can get some damn missions, as he spoke with Carnage. As much as Carnage wanted to kill him and get free, well, he could not. So he stick for talking to Naruto. So with that, they indeed spoke. As they made their way to the academy, as Naruto and Carnage realized that it is best if you work with him because they were going to be going on missions and they can cause a lot of carnage and problems. As for one Hinata Hyuga, Naruto treated her like a little kitten. To him, she was just a little baby, despite the both of them relatively being the same age. As she realized he didn't see her that way, so she did not stutter around him that much. They had been friends ever since he beat those bullets in a rather brutal fashion that tried to pick on her because of her eyes, and they had been friends ever since. As for Sakura, she was scared of him, considering that he threatened to kill her more than once because of her low talking. Ino was, well, she had a crush on him, as Naruto was the bad boy type and her parents told her to stay away from him, so did many girls in the class. Sasuke and Naruto had respect for each other. While they were not best of friends, they had respect for each other. So everyone's name was called about the tests that was given, as they were surprised to see him here, but they didn't ask him because most of them were too afraid to do so, including most of the boys in the class. Kiba on the other hand as well, seeing that he ended up messing with Hinata, and Naruto didn't like that. Kunai came in as she saw Hinata speaking to that boy. Wow, the boy might be rather outspoken, more than she liked. He was good for Hinata, he helped her, became less shy, and not to mention, he protected her. She saw that with her own eyes. While he was brutal in protecting her, he was still protecting her. But he was also a pervert considering the way he looked at her. As Naruto left, as he didn't have time to wait on a Jonin sensei who took so long to come. As he made his way to Ichiraku Ramen to get some ramen and greet his favorite ramen waitress Ayam. Afterwards he came back as Kakashi finally arrived. As Naruto attacked him, he wanted to see if this man was really a Jonin. Kakashi was able to evade his attack though, but he was surprised by Naruto's speed and not to mention strength. As they made their way to the roof, as Naruto made a joke that he was going to release a Kyuubi and destroy the village. Well, he didn't say Kyuubi, but Kakashi knew what he was talking about. But he laughed it off, and that got Kakashi a bit worried. Afterwards, they made their way, as they were told to come back tomorrow. Kakashi informed Hokage of this. Hiruzen was worried. Naruto didn't like him that much, and not to mention, Naruto did not inhabit the wheel of fire. He would stood there and watch Konoha burn. That is just what Hiruzen picked up from the way Naruto act nowadays. So he told Kakashi to keep an eye on him, just in case, as Kakashi nodded to that. Later that night, as Naruto made his way to the Forest of Death, as he was being watched, there was so much chakra signatures around from the animals that he didn't even focus on that, as he started to tap into Carnate's abilities. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So it's beginning this new episode. Let's get right into this, guys. Anko Midarashi had seen many things in her life, considering who she was. She was a member of the IT department, torture and interrogation. So she had seen a lot of things before. Not to mention she wasn't really liked that much, because of who was her sensei back in the past. Despite her being the victim, she was hated because of what Orochimaru did. How she hated that man. But still, this was something that shocked her. She saw the pariah just like her. The demon of Konoha, Naruto Uzumaki. While she was a snake bitch, he was a demon of Konoha. She had heard about him several times, as Ibiki had spoken about the boy when he saw him because, well, he had a tendency of torturing his victims. Not to the extent that Ibiki would torture them, but he would always send them off with broken bones, while they were awake to see him breaking their bones, seeing that he was once reported to seen laughing from doing that. That got many ninjas and shinobis worried, after all, considering what he possessed, but still, Ibiki found the child curious. But that is not what surprised Anko right now. One moment he was standing there, she had saw him enter her forest. And he was just standing there. Next moment, something exploded out of his body. It was like a living organism. It swallowed him completely. Anko got scared because she thought that Kyuubi was breaking free. But from what she heard, and what everyone knew, this was not the beast after all. She didn't see those massive tails. What she saw was something red, with black markings all over its body. It seemed to be constantly moving. Its eyes were white. Its mouth was filled with jagged teeth, a lot of them. As it was smiling rather devilishly, Anko felt an ominous presence as all the animals around scurried away with intense speed, as they knew when something more larger and dangerous was around, they had to run, and that is exactly what they did. The sensation of fright was taking over her being to get the hell out of there, but she couldn't help but watch, fascinated by this transformation. She's never seen anything like this before. She then watched them move. The forest of dead trees were large because Hoshirama Senju, well, it was his chakra that caused all of this. It was not easy to break one of those trees, but she watched as the kid slammed his fist into one of the trees. It broke into half as he lifted said tree up. The thing was massive as it dwarfed him, but yet he lifted it up. He then launched it up in the air. Anko watched as several vine-like things emerged from his back and stabbed into the tree and ripped it apart. She watched as he held out his hand as his hand transformed into a massive cleaver blade as he swung, tearing through two trees like they were nothing. As Anko couldn't believe what she was seeing. Should she report this? She didn't know. But this was definitely not normal, was it? Was this a side effect of being the cabbage in Julien? She did not know. That is when he turned. Anko was shocked as one of those strange vines shot from his palm. She wanted to move, but she just wasn't fast enough. Considering the distance, that thing was fast as hell. As she was grabbed and yanked towards them, she immediately pulled a kunai as she brought it towards his throat. But he seemed to find this amusing. She watches the head peel back as it split. It was like a phoenix fly trap, pointing up in the air, surrounding his head. As his head was fully visible, no longer covered by this thing. Did you enjoy the view? Said Naruto. As Anko narrowed her gaze, not saying anything yet, her kunai still pressed up against his throat. It was then that he did something. He absorbed it. Anko was shocked when her kunai was gone into his fleshy substance. As Naruto looked toward his hand as he watched, the kunai was in his palm now. It literally merged with his body. As it emerged, but it was red with black markings all over it, he threw it as it split into a branch. Now that's awesome, said Naruto, as he created another one. Hey, how am I doing this? He said to himself, but he was speaking to Carnage. Because of what those idiotic Uzumakis did to me, my body is able to assimilate with any material and merge with it and copy its DNA, be it a life form or not, to create multiple copies of said DNA. So you're telling me I can recreate anything in my own unique way? Yes, said Carnage, sounding a bit pissed off. I still don't know how you can control me like this, but soon enough I will devour you and take over your body. You can count on that. Yeah, you work on that, said Naruto. I'm good as long as you tell me what exactly you can do to his fullest. Oh yeah, said Naruto. Hey, why are you watching me? He said as he looked towards Anko. What are you? She said, as a head formed back around Naruto. You made a mistake, whoever you are. Seeing that you saw what I did, there can be no witnesses. His mouth opened wide as Anko watched her life flash in front of her eyes. Up to that point, it had been a rather shitty life, given her dealings with Orochimaru, and now she was dead. As the head then fall back off, revealing Naruto's head underneath as he started to laugh. I'm sorry, he said. I just had to do that. As he put her down, Anko was confused. So, you're not gonna kill me, she said. Why would I? I mean, look at you. You don't exactly look normal, Anko said as a part of her was still in shock, as she really thought that she was gonna die a moment ago. Yeah, I guess you're right about that, said Naruto as he looked himself over. But, it's pretty cool, isn't it? What exactly are you? She asks, as she's never seen anything like this before. That's a secret, said Naruto. And I would really appreciate if you did not tell anyone about this yet. Whoever you are, wait. I know you, said Naruto. You do? Yeah. You're the student of Orochimaru, aren't you? She narrowed her gaze, the one that he placed that word mark on. How do you know that? She asks. I spy on people a lot to gain things that I want, and I overheard a conversation between a few jonins about you, said Naruto. And I can tell it's you from your description. A fishnet shirt with a black coat over it. Man, I didn't know that you were this hot. No wonder why most of them want to sleep with you, said Naruto, as he checked her out. You know, I've heard people for less, she said. She watched as he examined her body. As Naruto returned back to normal, she had to admit, for someone his age, he was quite muscular, but in a slim way. It did not look over grotesque. It fit him quite well. What can I say? If you can't talk your mind, what's the point of living? Said Naruto. So, can you keep this to yourself? Why should I? She asks. I mean, I don't even know what you're doing. What if you're planning to betray the village? Yeah, and I would have a good reason to do so, said Naruto, but trust me. I'm not trying to betray the village. I'm just testing out my new powers. What new powers? I don't trust you enough to tell you that yet, said Naruto. He then clapped his hand, but I know what we can do. So we can trust each other, he said. Oh, what's that? Let's sleep together. Anko paused. She heard that he was quite abrasive with the way he acted and talked, but this surprised her. Most people his age, well, they get all flustered, especially seeing what she was wearing, but he was nonchalant about it, like he's been around the block a few times. And why the hell would I do that? She asks. Let me guess. You think I'm a snake whore as well? Nah, said Naruto. On the contrary, you seem docile as he walked around her. Docile? Me, seem docile. Yeah, you might flaunt your stuff, said Naruto, but I can tell that you're not the way that you act. And how can you tell that? I'm quite a unique sensor, said Naruto. Oh yeah, don't trust you yet to tell you everything. But let's just say I'm a unique sensor, he said as he walked around her. As he looked her up and down. And I'm getting a feeling from you. While you might be a bit out there, you're not, as people say. After all, screw these villagers, right? Calling you a snake whore. If I were you, I would send a dozen snakes to bite them every time I see them. Not just any normal snakes though, but some really poisonous ones. To put them in some real bad condition. That would shut them up. You know, talking about attacking villagers is not a good thing, she said. And I am your superior officer. I could report you. Yeah, you could, said Naruto. But something tell me that you thought about that idea more than once. Yeah, I suppose you're right about that. Let's not beat around the bush. I know that you know I'm the Kyubich in Julike. As Anko narrowed her eyes. Yeah, it's a secret and all, but I found out about it. So you have nothing to worry about. So you can be honest. I'm the demon of Konoha and you're the snake whore. What a better collaboration. Our babies would be monsters. Babies? How far are you thinking, brat, she asks. And you keep on assuming that I'll sleep with you. What makes you so confident, she asks. Well, maybe it's because we're both outlaws. And we're kind of like the same. As Naruto shrugged. He then held his head. What's wrong, she asks. Just some memory backlash from my clones dispelling. Clones? Yeah, Shadow Clone Jutsu. You know the clone jutsu, she asks. That's a rather advanced jutsu. And you said clones. How much? A few hundred. Uncle paused in shock. You're joking, right? Nah, said Naruto. Around 500 in total. At least they dispel 10 by 10, but it's still a lot of information to process. Uncle looked at him like he was crazy. Oh yeah. You know what? I have something that I would like to know. If you tell me that, I'll tell you what I was doing. And what do you want to know, she asks. Kakashi Hatake. What's his deal, Naruto asks. I need to learn about him before I take his test tomorrow. He's your Jonin sensei, huh? Yeah. Tell me that you know about the test, said Naruto. The test that every Jonin has to pass before becoming a ninja, I presume, she asks. Exactly that one, said Naruto. Yes, I do know about it, she said. But now you want something from me. Really badly. So I can ask you for anything I want. Huh. I guess I played in your hand, said Naruto. So what do you want? What did you transform into, she asks. It's one of my recent acquired abilities. From the Kyuubi? No, said Naruto. It's different. What exactly? Oh no, said Naruto. That is not how it works. Firstly, you tell me something about the test tomorrow then. I love to be prepared, you see. Fine, she said. I figure he will give you the bell test. He will have 2 bells, and you must get them from him to pass. As she then went quiet. Well, that doesn't make sense. 2 bells. It's 3 of us. Not to mention he's a Jonin. I know I'm strong and all, but still. If I wasn't me, that's pushing it. I mean, for people like Sakura, who is useless. Oh, said Naruto. Anko narrowed her gaze. There is no way that he could. It's about teamwork, isn't it? How did you... Konoha is always about that teamwork bullshit. Helping your comrades this and that. I guess they want us to work together. To try and capture the bells. To show that we can work as a team. Huh. You're smarter than I thought. With all the muscle, I thought you'd be a powerhouse that was rather stupid. Well, I'm not, said Naruto as he pulled out something. It was a pen and a pad. As he wrote something down before, he handed the paper to Anko. What's this? My address, said Naruto. And why are you giving me this? So we can sleep together. Look who's the dumb one. Anko took a step back. Do you really think that this is gonna work, she said. Your little idiotic moves are gonna work on me. And not to mention I'm a bit older than you. Yeah, you might be, said Naruto, but I'm almost 16 and not to mention I'm a shinobi. We can kill, we can drink. And the life of a shinobi is uncertain. And sex is the fun part. So not enjoying the time that you have will be a rather waste of time in my perspective. And not to mention, I've done this before. I'm not some wet behind the ears kid who don't know what he's doing. Trust me, said Naruto as he started to walk off. I'm not coming to your place, she told him. If you don't want to, don't, said Naruto. But I assure you, you'll have a wonderful time. See ya, as he walked off. Anko was still surprised. There was just so much that was revealed in this short amount of time. This kid though, he was really something as she looked towards the note. She placed it in her pocket as she moved off. As he left the forest of death, as Naruto went home to get some rest, he had his clones working on the scrolls. Well, all the ideas that he steal from the forbidden scroll since midday, the mental backlash was a lot. So with that he went home and get some rested sleep. Time skip. The next morning, Sakura and Sasuke had listened to their sensei as they had show up right on time. But nothing. As Sakura was rather getting impatient, Naruto wasn't here either. There was absolutely nothing going on, considering their sensei didn't bother to show up the time that he set. So they waited and waited and waited. Even the usual calm Sasuke was getting pissed off. After a few hours, Naruto finally arrived on the field. As Sakura was surprised what he was wearing. He was wearing an open, black cloak. It had no sleeves. It was just draped over him, and it was open at the front, exposing a well-toned six-pack and pecs. From all his grueling training, he had an immense physique that was just fit for his frame. He was wearing black shinobi pants and sandals. He had no pouch on, nothing at all. For his weapons, as he had his headband around his neck as he made his way over towards the group, as she couldn't help but glance towards his toned stomach, as she had to look away so she wouldn't get caught. You're late, Sakura said. As Naruto looked towards her, he looked around the area. Are you talking to me? He asked. Of course I am. Let me ask you a question. Where is our sensei? He's not here yet, she said. So, how am I late exactly? As she paused, next time don't say stupid things, okay? Said Naruto. As he went on the train to sit down. You two look like you have been here since the time that he told you to arrive. You saw that he didn't arrive properly, right? On the right day, when you were supposed to come and pick us up. Sasuke, how stupid are you? As Sasuke growled in annoyance, as he realized that Naruto was right. He shouldn't have come here so early, and not to mention, the both of their stomach growled. And you two didn't eat. Wow. Guess I'm gonna have to be the brains of this group, said Naruto as he leaned back. Although, I don't have to wait too long. Poof. As Kakashi appeared. Yo, he said. Sensei, you're late, Sakura yelled. Oh, sorry about that. There was a black cat in my path and I had to walk around. And then another black cat showed up, so I had to go up. But then another black cat appeared on the roof, so I had to go down. But I saw one in the crust of the earth, so I had to remain until they were gone. As the three of them looked at him. Does he expect us to buy this? Sakura asked. As Kakashi gave them an eye smile. Now that I'm here, why don't we get started with the test, shall we? He said. As he pulled out 2 bells. All you have to do is get these bells from me. As he pulled out a clock. If you manage to get the bell from me before the timer goes off, you pass. But Sensei, there's only 2 bells, said Sakura. Yes, I'm glad you noticed. That means one of you, no matter what, will go back to the academy. Sakura and Sasuke were shocked by that, as Sakura started to panic. But well then, said Kakashi. You 3 will have to come towards me with the intent to kill, otherwise you will fail. As Sakura couldn't believe what she was hearing. Sasuke was stronger than her, of course, and Naruto, well, he was... She never said this out loud, but he defeated Sasuke several times in hand-to-hand combat. But that didn't mean he was better. Sasuke was better in ninjutsu, and that meant he was better, right? She sighed as that sounded rather stupid. But still, this was bad. She was the weakest of the group. Would she really have to go back to the academy? Would she really have to go back? She was starting to panic. Alright, said Kakashi. Go! The moment he said that, Sakura and Sasuke vanished. As Naruto was speaking in his ear, Naruto, didn't you hear me, said Kakashi. Yeah, I heard you, said Naruto. I just want to see how I measure up. How you measure up? Yeah, against a Jonin. I never had to fight a real Jonin before. I did fought Mizuki, but he ran away, said Naruto. As you remember, that was what he told them, although he did absorb Mizuki. You know, you should absorb him as well, said Carnage. If he's this Jonin with a lot of information, he will just help you get stronger, so you can cause more chaos. Can't do that, remember. He's necessary so that he can take us on missions. Oh yeah, said Carnage. Hurry up and fight so I can watch something entertaining. I'm bored. Was I put on this earth to entertain you, said Naruto. Of course you were. Know that I'm stuck in your body. Not to mention you using my power, so you better respect me, Carnage said. You tried to kill me every chance you have, said Naruto. Yes, I do. But you're not dead yet, so be happy about that. You're a really weird, complicated person, you know that, right? Said Naruto. Joke's on you. I'm not a person. Yeah, I forgot, said Naruto. As he shook his head, Kakashi blinked as he watched Naruto standing there, saying nothing for a few seconds. It was almost like he was debating with something on himself. Oh yeah, where was I? Said Naruto. You said you want to test yourself against me. Oh yeah, said Naruto. You don't mind, do you? Well, if you can get one of these bells, I don't, say Kakashi. The bells, said Naruto. Well, that's not my goal. My goal is to see how much I measure up. As Naruto started to go through hand signs, surprising Kakashi by that. But these hand signs were, how would he wind style, said Naruto. Gale palm as he thrust his hand out. As Naruto's chakra was abnormally large, and not to mention because of Carnage expanding his reserves, and the fox, who didn't have to be suppressed, seeing that Naruto's chakra suppressed the fox chakra to an extent so it would not completely overtake his system, and that held back a lot of Naruto's chakra. The reason being, the fox remembered what Naruto said. Even when he was dying, the fox thought that Naruto would drag him down with him, but he was willing to rip off their seal. As that got the fox a lot to think about, it especially made him think about someone from his past, who told him that there would be someone like him in the future, but in terms of personality, they were nothing alike. But it still got Kurama thinking though. Kakashi felt the build-up of chakra as he moved. Sasuke and Sakura watched as Sakura was blown out of the tree. The wind attack that Naruto used was not normal in any means necessary, as Naruto tended to waste a lot of chakra in his techniques, but in doing so, he filled them with too much. The place was chaotic as trees. Leaves were ripped apart. Trees were actually blown back and bent. Some of them broke because of the force. Kakashi, who had tried to sunshine away, didn't realize the velocity of the technique. As he was still blasted away, he crashed into a tree. He picked himself up with a shocking look on his face towards the area what one jutsu just did. And yet Naruto did not even look winded, as Naruto's eyes focused on the man and he moved. What the hell? Said Sasuke as he watched Naruto rush across the field. Kakashi got up as he moved fully into stance, as Naruto launched a fist towards his face. Kakashi redirected towards the side. He twists and drive a fist towards Naruto's stomach, only for Naruto to tilt his body as he passed him as he reached to grab Kakashi's wrist. But Kakashi grabbed Naruto's instead and pulled him forward, as Naruto bent his body and ducked under the kick that Kakashi brought up, before he grabbed his ankle and brought him down. Kakashi's spin forced Naruto to release him, as he drive a hard punch in Naruto's stomach, knocking him back. Naruto staggered a bit, but he picked himself back up and launched forward a brutal spinning kick. Kakashi grabbed said ankle and spun Naruto around and launched him down towards the ground. Naruto's hand slammed into the ground as he thrust his foot forward, but Kakashi dodged once again. As Naruto flipped to his feet and dropped into a stance, Kakashi's eyes widened as Naruto moved. Kakashi was able to evade all the strikes because he knew the stance all too well, but it was altered, seeing that he thought it was the same. He was relying on his memories, but he shouldn't have, as a right hook slammed across his face. The blow got Kakashi dizzy, as Naruto was just that physically strong. Stepping back, Kakashi dodged the other fist, knowing it wouldn't be good for him to tank that as he flipped away. That fighting style, if I'm not mistaken, is an abbreviation of The strong fist style. That belongs to my guy. Oh yeah, that guy with the green suit. It was him that I stole it from. Naruto. It's not good to steal techniques. Well, it's not his anymore, said Naruto. I altered it to fit my own needs, as you can see. But come on. Do you really want me to use the academy fighting style? That's a bunch of hot garbage. Now, let's get back to what we were doing, shall we? As Naruto started to go through hand signs once again, shocking Kakashi as he was surprised that Naruto knew these techniques, seeing that they were B rank techniques. As Naruto took in a deep breath. Wind style, spreading vacuum. As Naruto pointed towards the earth, the pressure was so intense the earth started to crack. Kakashi was forced to leap away. As many earth bullets were shot towards him because of the force the wind shot the earth up with. Gravel, dust and debris was shot towards him. One of the stones actually hit him in his shoulder as he tried to flip away, and it hurt like hell. He dropped all to come face to face with Naruto's fists. But he was able to dodge in time as he was not a Jonin for nothing. But in doing so, something burst from the ground, and that was Naruto. The clone literally rooted up from the earth as it grabbed Kakashi and held on to him rather tight. The real Naruto spin and kick. Naruto clone head was blown clean off, seeing that Kakashi had substituted that last moment. But the clone wasn't so lucky. Kakashi found himself in a nearby forest and he rubbed his neck. Naruto was actually trying to kill him. While he told him to come at him with the intent to kill, that hit was nothing normal, seeing how viciously it hit into his clone. He watches Naruto vanish. What is he up to now? Naruto made his way in the forest, already seeing what he liked. Kakashi was still toying with him and he would probably not go all out with him, so this was boring. As Naruto wanted to see that famous Sharingan, but guess he would not get it. And he's not gonna reveal his Carnage ability yet. He still had a few things to work on. So he made his way towards said forest, where he found Sakura hunkered down. As she had found another hiding spot, she felt someone pick her up by her hair as she squirmed. As she was placed on her feet, Naruto, what the hell, she said. Did you have to drag my hair? As she smoothed it back down. I'm just showing you how your opponents can hold on to your hair while in battle, said Naruto. You should be thanking me. Well, I'm not gonna, she said. What do you want? You're gonna blow my cover. I'm sure that you saw me fighting Kakashi out there. Let me put this that you will understand. You're much weaker than me. And I mean much weaker than me. In fact, you're quite pathetic. She clenched her fist at that. I'm not trying to insult you, but it's just truth. So there's no way that you can get a belt for yourself. We have to work together. I know you're smart, Sakura. He's a Jonin, we're first Genins. I mean, I am awesome, but we need to work together. It's a test to see if we can work together or if we're gonna fight against each other for the belts. And how do you know that? I have my source. Now come on, said Naruto. As she frowned, still angry that he insulted her that way. You know what, screw it. As Naruto picked her up. Put me down, she said. Be quiet, he said as he jumped off with her. Sasuke heard a lot of argument coming his way. He turned to see the two as he was just about to attack Kakashi, seeing that Naruto was gone now. What are you two doing here, he said. You know what? Either you two listen to me, or I'm gonna start punching people. And trust me, you won't like it, said Naruto. What the hell are you talking about, Sasuke asked. Alright, listen up, said Naruto. Time skip. Kakashi was waiting. So far there has not been anything since a little battle of theirs. It was then that he heard a blood-curdling scream. He watched as Sakura rushed out of the forest. Kakashi was confused when he saw blood, as her left arm was missing. It was hacked clean off. As Kakashi watched as he dropped down to the ground as he saw Naruto emerging. As Naruto had a rather long, nasty blade that was covered in blood. This is the only way. You bastard, Sasuke said as he jumped down, launching a fireball, as he was also staining in blood as well. As Naruto avoided, but it was able to cinch the arm that had the blade in it. Kakashi was confused, as he didn't know what the hell was going on. This must be some sort of illusion, right? As Naruto turned towards Sakura, he picked up the blade in the other arm. I'll kill her first and you next, Sasuke, he said. Kakashi moved over rather quickly as he appeared between the two. What the hell are you doing, he said, as he didn't know how things escalate this quickly. Well, you told us that there's only 2 bells, so one of us has to die. This test has been failed by many before, but Kakashi didn't expect it to be failed like this. As he looked at Naruto, who was actually happy, Kakashi was confused. It was then that he felt the movement behind him as he ducked. The ear actually twisted over his head as he saw Naruto instead of Sakura with both arms, and there was no longer any blood. As the 3 of them then moved, Kakashi was able to fight back as he disengaged and flipped away. Several kunais with explosive tags were thrown towards the ground. Shit, as he leaped away, boom, they went off. A massive fireball struck where he was about to land as Sasuke appeared with ninja wires as they were attached to kunais behind him as he launched the fire down the ninja wires. As Kakashi substituted with a log, only to reappear in the distance to see several Naruto standing there. I've cornered every single ear of this forest. It helps that I can make so much clones. But it doesn't matter because this is done. Kakashi's surprised when he reached down and didn't see anything. When did you... As he realized when they all attacked him back there. Huh. He chuckled a bit as he found it amusing. That transformation, how did you make it so believable? It's quite easy, you see. My chakra is a lot more dense than I originally thought, and that you originally thought. It's hard to see through my transformations. And not to mention, I'm a good actor, said Naruto. Yeah, you had me going there for a moment, said Kakashi. But still, you have 2 bells. Who is gonna fail, he says he watched a clone spoof away as the teams appear. No one, said Naruto, because we figured out your little stupid tests. Yeah, we did, Sensei, said Sakura speaking afterwards. It's about teamwork, isn't it? You want us to work together, to fight you as one, said Sasuke. And here we are now finishing each other's sentences, said Naruto. So, either pass us or I find out where you live and burn your home down. Isn't that a bit too excessive, said Kakashi. Well, I always get what I want when I put threat behind it, said Naruto. I guess that would work in some cases. But you're right about that. This test was about teamwork. I'm glad that you're all able to find that out. The stomach of Sasuke and Sakura went off, grumbling. Good thing I brought lunch boxes, said Kakashi, as they made their way towards where the planks were, in the ground. Arriving there, they saw the 2 empty lunch boxes. Kakashi blinked in confusion. Oh, I ate those, said Naruto. When, said Sakura. A long time ago, said Naruto. Besides, I left some time ago. You what? She said, confused. As Kakashi walked up to Naruto. You're a clone, aren't you? Well, considering that your exam was boring, I figure I would do some real training. I mean, what's the point of wasting a perfectly good day? So, where should we meet up tomorrow, here? Yeah, okay, see ya, as he moved away, not even giving Kakashi a chance to answer for himself. Huh, he played my own trick on me, said Kakashi. Naruto is so annoying, said Sakura. You're telling me, said Sasuke. Sakura was surprised that he actually agreed with her. He realized his mistake as he walked off. As Kakashi pouted as he realized they didn't even let him get to say that they were now officially Team 7. They all just left. Well, he can fill them in tomorrow. As he had to report to the Hokage as he vanished off. Later that day, as Naruto was currently in front of his massive window. Well, everything was glass, so it wasn't really a window. As he looked over the district. As he went and sat down in his chair. It was a long chair. As he leaned back, there was a cup of sake to his side. As he was enjoying the view, waiting for the particular person to come up. Ah, you're finally here. As the person was none other than Anko herself. She was still amazed. How the hell did he own this entire place? She looked around. There were at least several floors, and he lived on the top one. Are the people around you afraid of you or something? People were rather surprised that I was coming in here, of all places. They seemed shocked even. What can I say? I have that effect on people. I guess there was no point of hiding that I was coming, seeing that you can see everything from here. Well, not really, said Naruto. I knew that you were coming anyway. And what made you think that? Well, you're curious about me, said Naruto. I'm guessing that is the case. More about your powers, she said. Well, considering that you have not told the Hokage or anyone what you saw, I suggest that you just want to know more. Why don't you have a seat? As he then finally got up, she didn't realize he was only in his boxers. As Anko gave him a blank stare. What? Trying to seduce me or something? If I was trying to seduce you, I would be much more forward, said Naruto. Trust me. I'm just enjoying my day. How do you even own this place? Are you rich or something, she asked. Just smart, said Naruto. As he made his way towards the fridge, as Anko was surprised she saw inside. There was so much delicacies. She didn't notice that he had something. It seemed that he was preparing something. I'm sure that you're not allergic to any of these herbs, right? What are you talking about, she said. I'm making dinner, said Naruto. It will be ready soon, so have a seat. You can go ahead and drink some of that steak to relax yourself. Anko looked at the portion of food that he was creating. Were you expecting someone, she said. Nah, not really. Kind of eat a lot. Look at me. I'm a growing boy, he said. Besides, I expect you to come sooner or later. But later was your option, it seems. I usually eat rather early. Before I put in some work. Exercise to be exact, then I go to sleep. And how do you know I would come? Just had a feeling, said Naruto, as Anko took up the steak. This was a rather expensive bottle of steak. The expensive kind? Seems you don't cheap on taste, she said. Well, I prefer the quality in all things. In all things, she asked. Yes, especially women, said Naruto. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you which part you fall under, he said. Anko watched as he cooked. They had small talk. Despite her being here to find out more about his abilities, she didn't talk about that. As Anko was shocked, he cooked like a well-renowned chef. As she then noticed all the books on cooking. How was this kid so damn rich? As she noticed the TVs, and not to mention, on each floor there was something extraordinary. A library of books. As she saw there was a folder over to the side that marked top secret. She saw that he was not looking. As she got her curiosity peak, she opened it. Inside was a drawing of penis. What the hell? When people tend to notice things right top secret, they want to know what is inside. It's just my running joke, said Naruto. Huh, very funny, Uncle said. As he had put on an apron, but he was still in his underwear. Was he trying to seduce her or something? As she had tried to keep her eyes from wandering, but she had to admit. God damn. Alright, said Naruto as he was finally finished. He made tempura, deep fried seafood and vegetables. Eat up, said Naruto, as he placed the food in front of her. She hesitated. You just saw me cook it. You know it's not poison, right? No, it's not that. You know that this is not a date, right? Oh, and when did I ask you out, said Naruto. No, I'm just saying that this is... Do you want it to be? I didn't say that, she said. I'm just saying this is not a date. So I don't want you to be thinking otherwise. Naruto sat down. Well, I never asked you out, he said. So, if you want to think that's a date, you can go right ahead. No, I don't want you thinking that. As Naruto smiled. Think whatever you want, Uncle-chan, he said. As her eye twitched, he was starting to provoke her now. Well, thanks for the food, she said as she started to eat. Anko was shocked at the taste. It felt like her taste buds were going on a journey. Where the hell did you learn to cook like this, she asked. As he did not give her an exact answer earlier. Well, let's just say I like cooking, said Naruto. It's one of my many perks in being the ultimate male. Anko chuckled a bit. You think that you're the ultimate male? Well, if I'm not, then who is? There are many more good looking, and not to mention hotter guys than you out there, she said. As Naruto placed a hand on his chest, You wound me, he said. That coming from you especially hurt me a lot. She didn't know if he was being sarcastic or not. She couldn't tell. As he started to eat, while just looking at her. You know, staring at someone while they eat is not a good thing. As Naruto just continued to look at her. His stare was getting her a bit tingly, his eyes to be exact. She tried not to focus on them. As they eat, in relative silence, the food was rather delicious. Well, thanks for the food, she said. But I still want answers about exactly what you can do. You piqued my curiosity. As Naruto to the plates as he washed them. Before setting them away, she had to say his place was clean and tidied. Rather well, as he came over and sat right in front of her. He grabbed the leg of her chair and pulled it forward, as she raised her hand to stop his momentum. I told you, we're not doing that. And who said I was gonna try new things, said Naruto. I just want to know what you want to know. About your powers. As Naruto started to play with his finger on the table, by making his two fingers walk. As I said, I don't really trust you, said Naruto. Yet you make me that wonderful dinner, she said. All the sake and being so kind. Then what's your deal, she asks. Maybe I'm just a good person. Well, maybe you are, but from what I've heard, you're not that good. Maybe I just like you, said Naruto. I like your attitude. I like how you behave. And maybe I want you, he said. Well, you're gonna have to work a lot harder than that. Is that so, said Naruto, as he just continued to look at her. She could feel herself sweating. The place was not hot. Stop looking at me like that. As Naruto moved a bit closer, she didn't realize that he was pulling her chair towards him. So tell me, Anko-chan, why are you here? I want to know more. No, the truth. I am telling the truth. I want to know more about your abilities. Well, I don't believe you. Yeah, she's definitely lying, said Carnage. She wants you. She wants you to take her over this table right now. I can see that, said Naruto. Or maybe I'm wrong. Well, if you are, I am not wrong, said Carnage. You know, you can't talk while I'm doing this. You're going to ruin my mood. And who said I don't want to ruin your mood, said Carnage. After all, you having me stuck inside of here would be the best way to bring revenge upon you. Oh yeah, I can do this, said Naruto. As Carnage went quiet. Bastard, said Carnage as Naruto blocked him out. As Kurama chuckled to himself, finding it rather amusing. What's so funny, you furball? Kurama chose to ignore him, pissing him off even more. Carnage decided to take a page out of Kurama's book as he decided to sleep. As Naruto poured Anko a glass of sake. He didn't answer any more questions. You know, getting me all liquored up is not gonna help your case. As she drank and he drank as well. So Anko, why are you here? I told you, I'm curious about your abilities. They intrigue me. As Naruto sighed, she looked towards the window as she realized that it was getting rather late. Well then, I must go. The dinner was nice and all. Seeing that you did not tell me anything, I'll be back tomorrow for more information. As she started to walk away until Naruto grabbed her hand. Let go of me, she said, as he pulled her towards him. She had to brace against his rather muscular chest, using her hand to stop her momentum. I told you, brat, that's not gonna happen. As his eyes kept on pouring to hers. Because of the place getting rather dark, as the lights were not flipped on, as they were here for so long just drinking sake, she could swear that she saw his eyes glow in the darkness. As he actually growled, like some animal. As he sniffed her, you still smell like dongus, he said, as he pulled back. As Anko couldn't help but looking at his lips. She didn't know if it was a sake or just because of his presence, but she couldn't help herself as she latched onto his lips with her own, as they started to make out. As Naruto lifted her up with one arm as she wrapped her legs around his waist, as he dropped her right on the table, as they started to make out furiously, as she couldn't help it anymore, as Naruto tore her jacket off. He wasn't wearing much clothes, so It was easy for Chi to get rid of his boxers. And once that was gone, it escalated beyond the point of no return. The next morning, Anko woke up and she felt rather cozy. She realized that this couldn't be her bed. Her bed was not this cozy. And not to mention she heard breathing. Someone was breathing rather close to her. Did she go home with someone last night when she went to drink or something? Her eyes widened as the information came back to her about that dinner. The steak, the making out, and then, as her eyes snapped open, focused on the person, and there he was sleeping. He really got to her. As Uncle couldn't believe it, he said that this wasn't happening. While she didn't believe him, here she was, in his bed. This little shit. But yet he was so damn... She just couldn't describe it. He was a bit younger than her, but yet she didn't really care. Because this was not a boy. This was a man. Judging from last night, she lifted up the sheet. Yep. As the both of them were naked. Definitely a man, she thought to herself. And there was no mistaking that. Uncle looked over towards the clock. Shit, she was gonna be late. She looked towards him as she got to her feet. She had the earliest session in the ID department today. Time skip some time later, as Naruto woke up, to find that there was a note attached to his forehead. He took said note off as he read it. Last night was fun, but I got an important meeting. Had to go. Maybe I'll see you again. As there was a chibi Anko at the bottom, waving goodbye. As Naruto chuckled to himself. Well, last night was indeed fun, as he flipped out of bed, making his way towards the bathroom to get a shower, as he wondered what missions they were going to do now that they were Team 7. Yes, this should be rather interesting. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see this part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification to stay posted, remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, stay tuned for the resources coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say, get the hell out of here. See you guys soon, peace.